Alright guys, we should be live now. Welcome everybody to the live stream. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting one. We're going to be getting some new Last of Us 2 gameplay, which is pretty exciting. I am definitely looking forward to seeing more gameplay of this game. Obviously, there's a lot still to talk about when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2. But what I want to do is just take probably just a couple minutes here to just adjust the audio and everything, make sure it's all good. I saw some people asking whether or not I'm going to be talking over the actual stream when when the State of Play goes live. I don't plan on it. I plan to just watch it myself with you guys, so you won't have to worry about me like screaming over it or anything. And I think a good formula we've found here is we will kind of watch it together, and then I'll just react to it afterwards. I feel like that's better than reacting to it live. I mean, obviously, when we do the PS5 reveal event, when there's going to be a bunch of games shown off, that's a little bit different. Then I will probably have some things to say. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now, and it's going to be a little bit delayed, but I just want to, again, ensure that the audio levels are okay. I just don't want the State of Play audio to be too low. So I'm going to play this Last of Us Part 2 inside the gameplay trailer that they released. I think it was, I don't know how long ago it was. I think it was just a couple days, maybe a week. And so I'm going to play this, and I'm going to talk over a little bit just to make sure it's all good. So here we go.
Immerse you in the world.
Make sure everything's smooth.
Give you as
well.
many interesting actions to survive in this world and overcome obstacles. And obstacles could be infected, it could be other people, it could just be the environment, it could be rushing water, anything that could happen in this post-apocalyptic world.
Are you clean?
But if you really want to avoid spoilers, you definitely want to.
But more than anything, it needs to put you in Ellie's shoes. That you're experiencing what Ellie's experiencing, making you feel what she feels. Because the more we do that, the more the emotional beats of the story work for us, and the more they work for us in this very unique way that only works in video games.
The gameplay philosophy of The Last of Us Part 2 is putting you in the shoes of Ellie and everything that means.
Sounds good.
It means giving you a threat constantly, as this world has. It means giving you the hard choices.
Smooth.
Because this game takes place in such a hostile universe, and our characters are pushed to do really difficult things, we want to put you in alignment with those choices. We want you to understand how hard certain decisions were for these characters, because they're hard for you.
That should,
I would say,
hopefully help.
The overarching philosophy
Maybe
of
that
how we
fixed it.
approached designing the game mechanically is how can we take things to the next level.
Everything kind of comes out of the story. And how do we do it through systems? So one is you have to feel the pressure of survival. Survive by the skin of my teeth. How do I use
So the last time I had this issue,
scrap around me?
Guys are saying it's better, but also choppy.
Rag, any kind of bottle of alcohol.
It's laggy and loud.
How do we give you that sense of being a survivor in this world?
Just lower your voice, better. I don't know if it's smoothing out.
Very small.
My internet connection should be pretty good.
How do we make you feel like you're not the strongest person in the room, but you still should be able to rise to the challenge and survive, a fight with a bunch of people that are all bigger than you.
Leave it alone.
So therefore, it meant creating a character.
If it's choppy, trust me, it's their internet.
To be much more
I'm getting green over here.
That's where
so
we added a jump button.
Let me This is why I like to go live a little bit early, just to test all this out, and if I'm going to have any catastrophic issues,
scenarios are much more vertical.
I'll deal with it
elevation to her advantage.
now. Bloodborne,
is a huge,
welcome to the channel, buddy. Thank you for choosing to become
lay flat on the
a member. Appreciate that. Look forward to your exclusive perks. Speaking of which, the first episode of MBG and Friends Game Club is actually out for God of War. For those of you who are members, or for anybody who's maybe interested in becoming a member, where me and my buddy sit down for about 45 minutes and just talk about God of War and our thoughts on it. So, thank you for that, Bloodborne. Welcome. You guys are saying my voice, I don't know, like my audio needs to be turned up just a little bit. I have the desktop audio kind of 50%. Alright, so I guess for now what I want to do is I just want to let this play, see how it's looking on the stream.
Something so simple, again, something that
it's in real life
you'd be able to do.
Oddly enough, it's actually kind of choppy on my end.
Weapons,
I don't know why. The last time this happened, I had God of War footage in the background, but I double-checked. I didn't see anything.
And it just creates so many more emergent things in gameplay.
Now that we have this other state that the player could be in, which are very low to the ground, how else can we use this other than just hiding in vegetation? We're like, well, there's a lot of man-made things or different structures that have collapsed that allow just enough space for you to crawl under, which means that now, as enemies are looking for you, you can crawl under things and hide, and it's just one more way to assess your environment and use it to Ellie's advantage. Now, because you can hide under things, we made them smarter and gave them the ability to look under things. So while you might hide somewhere and be safe for a while, eventually they're going to start looking under stuff, and if you're hiding under a truck and they spot you, they're going to yank you out and then try to kill you.
Alright, so I'm noticing a lot of you guys are saying it's fine, but a lot are also saying it's choppy. First of all, I want to welcome another new member, Logan's Reviews. Thank you for choosing to go above and beyond and support me directly here on the channel. Really appreciate that. It means a lot. Look forward to your new perks. I'm seeing 50-50, guys. I'm seeing some say that it's choppy, others saying it's good. I don't know if maybe I should try lowering the bit rate a little bit. I have it set to like 4,500. I'm still learning this stuff and trying to figure it out. Maybe you guys, somebody in the chat can let me know. For 1080p, I think the ideal bit rate, I don't know, is between like 4,000 and 6,000. I don't think I could go much higher than that without, I don't know if my internet's good enough. I don't know if maybe I should lower it. I'm afraid that, I don't want to have a situation where I'm trying to watch it and it just, cuts out or whatever. I'm also wondering how it's going to be on Sony's end, but because I have my quality set to 1080p. Put 720p. It's not that choppy, but the audio is better. It's all right for you. It's choppy here and there, not bad though. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. I'm gonna be talking about it once the stream's actually over. So, worst case scenario, just for anybody who's wondering what I said, for me, what the worst case scenario will end up being is we will watch it live together, and it'll be an absolute disaster on my end, to the point where most people leave to go watch it, somewhere where it's not a disaster. I'm not saying that will happen, just worst case scenario. And if that does happen, then whatever. I'll try my best to just watch it on my end, and then hopefully everybody will come back once it's over, and I can just loop it on the actual PlayStation channel once it's, up there. But then again, if that is a problem, that could end up being a problem on my end. I don't know, guys. Streaming stresses me out sometimes, but we'll just see what happens. I want to say we already have 1,100 people here, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here, especially so early. We're still about 20 minutes away from this actually going down. So if you could do me a big favor, hit the like button to help it out, help the stream out. But I guess we'll just mess around with this a little bit longer, just if we can get it locked down. I actually, give me 1 second, guys. I gotta move something. I'll be right back. There's gonna be a little bit of dead air. Actually, before I do that, I don't want to miss these super chats. I have Select Ninth. You're saying, have you decided if you're going to get The Last of Us 2 yet? We're going to talk about that. Trust me. We'll talk about that. Joe Armstrong, you're saying, homie, why no face reveal? At least let us know which celeb you look most like. To be honest, the three main people I've been told that I look like, and I don't know why. From my family, they say I look like Keanu Reeves. From other people I've known throughout the years, they say I look like Tom Hardy or Shia LaBeouf. So there you go. Logan's Reviews, you're saying, hey man, love the videos and keep up the good work. By the way, will you be buying Cyberpunk 2077? I know I will, because I think it looks awesome. Speaking of Keanu Reeves, yes, I will be. True Witty, when is the start of the State of Play? In about 15 minutes from now, or about 20 minutes actually. But give me 1 second, guys. I have to actually move something real quick, so there's going to be a moment of dead air. Okay, sorry about that. We also have Super Trendy Moneymaker. You're saying, reviewers are praising The Last of Us 2, screw haters. Yeah, I've noticed that. I've gotten a lot of hate myself on Twitter recently because I've seemingly, made it clear on Twitter that I'm, it's hard not to get pulled into the hype when you see stuff like that, being said. But again, we're going to talk about that. But before we do, I want to just test this out one more time. At this point, I'm just going to mute the audio because the audio should be fine. You guys said the audio was good. I just want to make sure that this isn't choppy and that it's smooth. It's choppy. I don't know why. It's choppy on my end. But I don't know why. There's nothing that I can think of should be doing that. Now it seems to be good. I'm going to be looking to the chat to see what you guys are saying. It's looking pretty... I don't know. It seems like there's just these moments of choppiness and then it goes back to normal, at least on my end. Now it seems like it's back to normal. Stuttering. Crisp 16 FPS, yeah. Gotta love it. It's lagging. A little choppy. Thought you weren't buying the game. Looks like MBG is flip-flopping. We'll talk about it. Like I said, we'll talk about it. Yeah, it's choppy, but who cares? Alright, let me see if I can mess with this. Because I mean, this isn't even a lot, this isn't even a stream that I'm streaming here. This is just video that's already been uploaded. True Witty, you're saying, what if The Last of Us 2 has choice and impact that leads to spoilers? It's still back, then you... I'm trying to understand what you're saying here, then to you, because I think that would be cool. Naughty Dog wanted to change it up. I think basically what you're trying to say here, True Witty, is if there's significant choices that actually impact major plot moments and how they go down. I think that would be pretty awesome. I'm not expecting it, but I still think it would be awesome. Let me see if I can lower my bitrate here, because there's nothing else here that I'm aware of. I don't have anything else up that should be messing with the quality of the stream itself. I guess I could try to lower the bit rate. I'll try to lower it to 4,000. Alright, let's see if this fixes it. You guys let me know. I'm going to be relying on the chat for this. This is what this first 30 minutes turns into. Tech support, basically. So I lowered the bit rate. I'm going to play it now. I'll be looking to the chat to see how the video quality looks now. If it's better or worse, let me know. I know on my end when I first started it, it was pretty choppy. See if it smooths out. Yeah, I mean, I might have to just reduce it down to 720p at this point. I don't want to do that, but I mean, people want to see it smooth, you know? It's looking pretty good on my end, guys. Let me know. Should I keep the bitrate at 4000? Wow, choppy. I'm pretty sure these people are trolling at this point. John Ferguson, you're saying this might change a lot of people's minds about the leaks if they put together a good showing today. Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine that's what this is about, right? And they're showcasing gameplay. That's what people care about. That's all right. It's fine now. It's better for sure. Looks fine to me. All right, hold on one sec, guys. Let me sorry. Give me 1 second here. Hope I'm not missing anything important in the chat. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. I'm just glad they're showing gameplay, obviously. Alright, let me get back here with you guys. Okay. Yeah, choppier than your Ninja blender. Ha, good one. Yeah, I'm noticing it seems to me like most people are saying it's not choppy anymore. I think people who are saying it's choppy are either A, trolling, or B, it may actually be theirs. It looks pretty good on my end. So, yeah. We'll just leave it at that. And we will move over here to the actual stream, which is premiering in about 12 minutes. Oka Papa, thank you for that. Let me bring the chat up. I'm going to put it full screen, obviously, when it starts up. It seems like anytime I'm doing something, it makes the video extremely choppy. You're not getting any sound. I did mute it on purpose, but the sound will be there when we start. But I guess for the next 10 minutes, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about, where I stand right now with The Last of Us Part 2. It's a tough situation because I understand that there's a lot of people who saw the content that I created, and if I at this point have anything good to say whatsoever, they're going to look at me as a fraud, or it's just for views or whatever. Siler18, you're saying have a feeling they're going to show a certain character with reduced features, since that's actually easy to do right before it went gold. Yeah, we're not going to talk too much about that, Siler, because we don't want anybody spoiled who doesn't want to be spoiled. But I'm interested to see what they're going to show here. But when it comes to my feelings on The Last of Us right now, the way I feel about it is when I was exposed to the leaks, they hit me pretty hard. It was a very bitter pill to swallow, and obviously I've had a lot to say about it. I think there were two big problems. D. Darko, you're saying the gameplay is where it's at. I agree, thank you. But I had two problems. The first was, I think I talked about it too much. All right, and I think that was my first mistake. I made like 5 or 6 videos on it, when in reality, looking back, I realized there was probably, realistically, 1 to 2 videos max I would have had to have made to really get my point across. And it was just hard not to continue talking about it because it was all I was really thinking about at the moment. And plus, everybody else was talking about it, and it's difficult not to get wrapped up in, intense moments like that here on YouTube. Mr. Hamster, you're saying you see the new PlayStation Magazine leak about the PlayStation 5 games. I did. We may have a separate video where we talk about that. But for me, that was mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 was I think I went in a little bit too hard. Now, there's a lot I said that I did mean, and I don't take it back, but there's no doubt that I went off the deep end. I was like such an emotional, quick reaction, and it was such an extreme reaction, and now that I'm removed from it, I've had time to process it. I've had time to listen to other people's opinions, not just a few, but, other people's opinions, and just take it all in and soak it in and then decide what I'm going to do for myself. And, the conclusion I've come to here is that The Last of Us Part 2 is an event. It's a very big event. It's a big game. And, I expressed on Twitter how I'm pretty much excited to hear that reviewers are giving it. They're excited to talk about it. They're excited to share their reviews. I expressed how I was excited to stream this State of Play, and I got a lot of hate, man. Like, I got a lot of people coming at me, more than I expected. And it bothered me because it's like they try to paint me as somebody I understand that I went in really hard on this game. But what they won't tell you is all the times, even in those moments that they're referring to, all the times that I came on, I said, well, the game still looks great from a video game perspective. Animations look literally top-notch. Best in the business. Graphically, game looks superb. Gameplay-wise, looks amazing. Environments, environmental details, all that stuff. And I said these exact things, even when we were doing the leak videos and whatnot. And it just bothers me that, do people who were coming at me mention any of that? No, they just call me a hater. They just call me somebody who wants to shit on the game for the sake of shitting on it. They think I'm a bandwagoner. They think I jump on it just for views, right? Like, that's why I made those videos. Not because it's how I actually felt and I felt passionate about it. No, it's simply just for views. And what's so funny to me about that is, like, when's the last time I made a Last of Us 2 video? In fact, I realized I was getting out of hand. And you know what I did? I let my channel know. I let my audience know, guys, I'm not talking about this game anymore until we have something actually like relevant officially to talk about. We got to give it a rest. And here we are with the State of Play. If I was doing it just for views, that's all I'd be talking about. You still see people doing it, where it's like, all right, we beat this dead horse enough. It's time to move on. We have another new member, I Play Games 64. Thank you, buddy, for going above and beyond here and joining the channel. Look forward to your exclusive perks. You can watch the first episode of MBG and Friends Game Club where we talk about God of War. And I really appreciate you going above and beyond here. So thank you. Welcome to the channel. But I'm not trying to, completely go on the defensive here, because I'll take it on the chin, man. Right? Like, I get it. You see me as a flip-flopper, fine. But that's the thing. I'm not jumping into this saying, I'm now super pumped for this game, guys, like, and just pretending like I didn't see the leaks or whatever. That's not what I'm doing here. I don't know how I'm going to feel. I really don't. What I know is that if I were to pass up playing this game just for myself, it would just be a dumb move in my opinion. Like, I have to experience it for myself. And for all I know, I may play it and hate it. I may be like, wow, like, that is as bad as I felt like it was going to be. Or I may play and be like, I love this game. I can't believe it, but I love it. Or I may play it and think, okay, I don't really feel much different. I'm kind of indifferent to it, right? I don't know. And so it's that not knowing. Like, I do know the leaks, but I also know that I haven't experienced the entire thing. And I played God of War recently, and people, I'm not trying to compare the two, but people said to me, they're like, dude, look at God of War's plot synopsis. What if some of the major plot points leaked there, and you just read about them or saw, like, a couple minutes of cutscenes, and you didn't like it? Would that take away from the entire game? And I realized, no, realistically it wouldn't. There's still a lot of aspects to God of War that are amazing. Just like when you look at The Last of Us 2, you realize there are some really awesome qualities about this game. But I just can't be that person that just blindly defends it. And for people who are wondering, what was my second mistake? Well, going in too hard. Part of that is, I went in too hard because I didn't play the game. And maybe it was wrong of me to sit there and talk about a game as if I experienced the entire thing and I have a right to just completely shit on it and a right to come to just a concrete conclusion saying I know for a fact, when in fact I don't. I just know what the leaks showed me, and that wasn't the entire game. And so that's why I'm here today, because it's like, look, I'm over it now. Like, that's the main thing here. I'm over it. Mr. Hamster, you're saying, is MBG member only podcast happening this weekend? Thanks for bringing that up, Mr. Hamster. I will be streaming for just members only. We'll do a members only live stream on the 30th. I want to say it'll be at 12 p.m., same time as the podcast, but I have yet to lock in a time, but I will be sure to let everybody know. Let's just say 12 p.m. for right now, Eastern time, 12 p.m. Eastern. We have iSiler saying opinions can change when the circumstances do. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the truth is, guys, like, people are free to view me how they want. If they want to see me as a clown, as a flip-flopper, as a fraud, that's fine. Like, I'm not trying to tell anybody how they should view me, and all I'm trying to do is just speak to my audience and tell you guys, my thoughts and what's going on, because for a good minute there, I really thought I'm not going to play this game. Like, I really thought that. I thought I'm so distraught by what I've seen and these leaks that I don't know if I can do it. But again, I've taken time to process it, and I'm just, at this point, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to play the game myself, and however it leaves me feeling by the time I'm done, by the time I'm done playing it, I'll let you guys know how I feel. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If I'm like, holy shit, that is just like, I'm just not happy with the game, I'll tell you. If I play it and I'm like, wow, it was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be story-wise, I will tell you. If I play it and I'm just blown away by it, I will tell you. So, if there's one thing I do regret is just how emotional I got about it, but I think people fail to understand that the reason why I'm emotional about the leaks is because that's, for those, we're not spoiling anything here. And again, if you don't want to be spoiled, do not go into the chat. But, there's no doubt that the content that was in those leaks was some heavy shit, man. Some heavy shit that, I will admit it's hard to properly understand what everything behind it without all of the context, for sure. But it was some heavy shit, and that's why I don't regret the reaction I had. It was an emotional one because this was my most anticipated game of the year, guys, and that's all it is. I'm just trying to let you guys know where I'm at right now, and so we're gonna watch the state of play. I'm hoping I'll walk away impressed by it and excited, and we'll talk more about it after we watch it. And so we have over 2,000 people watching, guys. If you could do me a huge favor, be sure to hit the like button to help the stream out. Let's see if we can get up to 1,000 likes. That'd be absolutely fantastic. It's the easiest way for you to show your support here. And as this stream is about to start, and it says 60 seconds here, hopefully we won't run into any issues. Sunny Fisher saying, MBG, you should check out Smudboy. Maybe I'll have to look into it. But yeah, guys, I mean, I know my viewers, the thing I respect about most of you guys, pretty much all of you, those of you who really do support me and understand who I am on this channel, I really appreciate people who I'm not talking about people who agree with me. I mean, obviously I appreciate that, but I appreciate people who are understanding that I'm just a human being and I'm not going to get it right all the time. And, there's going to be people who attack me for that. There's going to be people who condemn me for that. But the people I appreciate most are the ones who understand that I'm only human, and people's opinions and feelings change, especially over time, about different things and when you learn different things. And so all I know is that, I've taken time to process these leaks. They are what they are. And at this point, I'm just left feeling I'm going to have to fuck it. I'm just going to have to dive into this thing myself, experience it, and just embrace every feeling it leaves me with, good or bad. And at the very least, it will make for some very interesting conversation with my audience. So all right, this music is pretty loud. You guys can let me know real quick, 2 minutes before it starts. How is it too loud? This music sounds pretty loud on my end. I don't follow this channel, but this guy sounds like he's prepping his audience for more shilling on this game. Dude, like, that's such bullshit, man. Like, that's such bullshit. I'm telling you, if I play the game and the story is as bad as I feel like it was going to be when I saw the leaks, I will tell you, like, I'm not going to shill anything. Trust me, if I was going to shill, I wouldn't have made those videos that I made. But yeah, I know, guys, the music is loud. I'm going to mute it for right now. The music is loud. I don't know why the intro music they have is always extremely loud, but I think it's going to quiet down once we, once they actually start the stream. It's not going to be that ridiculously loud. So let's go full screen here. And I will obviously turn the sound back on. 20 seconds here. Alright, I'm not going to be talking during the stream, so here you go.
I know you wish things were different. I wish things were different. Ellie! But they ain't.
Please stop! I'm leaving tomorrow.
To do this smart, we'd be leaving Jackson vulnerable.
So they just get to get away with this?
How'd you find us?
You can't stop this.
I want what you want. But not at any cost. I really hope you make it.
I have to finish it.
There's a cost.
We could have killed you. Maybe you should have.
I'm Neil Druckmann, Vice President of Naughty Dog and the Director of The Last of Us Part 2. We're just a few weeks away from launch on June 19th, when the game will finally be in your hands. The wait has been long, and we're extremely grateful for your patience, especially now in the midst of these unprecedented and challenging times. We hope you're all taking care of yourselves and that you, your friends, and your loved ones are doing well. Because of these extraordinary circumstances, we can't be together in this final stretch and share the experience like we usually would. So today we're trying something different. Something we've never done before. Over the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to give you an in-depth look into what awaits you in The Last of Us Part 2, including new details about the gameplay experience and story. And to cap it all off, we'll be showing a never-before-seen, lengthy gameplay sequence. You'll definitely want to stick around for that.
I don't know what happened. I was supposed to take her to the Fireflies and walk away. They were actually going to make a cure. The only catch, it would kill her.
The Last of Us Part 2 picks up Ellie and Joel's story several years after the events of the first game. Ellie and Joel have settled in Jackson, Wyoming, amongst a thriving community of survivors. With the threats of the world kept outside the town's walls, Jackson has been able to find relative peace and even stability. Ellie is now 19, lives on her own, and has been able to forge lasting relationships within the community.
Scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate our kiss from last night?
However, this peace is short-lived. Jackson and Ellie suffer a violent and traumatizing event. Ellie sets off back into the treacherous outside world in search of retribution and justice. Her journey will take her to new parts of the country previously unexplored in The Last of Us. The story spans multiple seasons and climates, from the snow-capped mountains of Jackson to the lush Pacific Northwest. Each introduces a wide range of exterior and interior environments for you to navigate and explore, rendered in meticulous detail and unprecedented scale with the latest iteration of the Naughty Dog engine. Our goal was to make these environments not only beautiful, but feel as grounded and authentic to the cities they're based on as possible. Much of the story unfolds in what remains of Seattle, a massive former quarantine zone. Its locales are incredibly diverse, spanning a dense city center with a skyline of towering high-rises to the beautiful suburbs and stormy waterfronts that surround it. The city exhibits drastic shifts in architecture, elevation, and weather. And with Part 2, we've introduced new traversal mechanics that afford greater exploration and ways to navigate threats. Ellie is not only able to climb and jump over gaps, but she can use ropes to scale vertical terrain or swing over obstacles, allowing you to discover new areas, resources, and side narratives. These more open environments also create new strategic considerations in combat, whether it's to get the jump on enemies or bypass them entirely. The Last of Us Part 2 features some of the largest environments we've ever created. Horseback riding will allow Ellie to quickly cover some of these expansive terrains. Some streets are so flooded that a boat is required to navigate them. However, the world of The Last of Us is as lush and inviting as it is deadly. As Ellie uncovers the path to finding those who have wronged her, she must face the many threats of this unknown city. In the wake of the pandemic and the fall of the quarantine zone, Seattle has become a war zone, where two warring factions find themselves in an ongoing conflict for territory and resources. One of these groups is the Washington Liberation Front, otherwise known as the WLF. The WLF are a militia group that began as resistance to the military occupation of Seattle, and eventually wrestled control of the city from them. They are highly trained, organized, and well-equipped with weapons they stole from the army. They occupy much of the city, imprisoning or killing trespassers on sight.
Hey, we got another trespasser, a girl. Did you see her?
On the other side of this bloody conflict is a group of religious zealots called the Seraphites, or Scars, defined by the self-inflicted deep cuts that they bear across their faces. Like the WLF, they're deeply tribalistic and territorial. They're known for being stealthy, using overgrowth as cover, and they use more silent weapons like bows and arrows.
Clip her wings.
But beyond this conflict among survivors, the threat that originally brought the world to its knees is very much present. Every human is in danger of falling victim to the infected. There are the recently infected runners, who are more numerous and aggressive in this game. The blind but extremely deadly clickers, and the stalkers, who sneak and hide until they're ready to attack, surprising their victims with extreme agility and brutal violence. The Last of Us Part 2 introduces new stages of infected, such as the Shamblers. Large, heavily armored enemies that are covered in pustules. Upon getting close to you, they expel a corrosive spore cloud that burns its victims. But our most terrifying and lethal new forms of infected will have to wait until you play the game for yourselves. Overcoming these threats will require careful consideration of how you approach every combat encounter and how you leverage Ellie's unique skills, equipment, and the environment to your advantage. The WLF patrol the streets of Seattle with guard dogs, which are capable of detecting and following you, even while in cover. They can pick up your scent and alert their handlers to your presence. Listen mode will reveal your scent trail, so keep moving and cause distractions to avoid detection. 25 years after the pandemic began, the world is completely overgrown. Use tall grass to hide from enemies and go prone to stay out of sight. However, this form of analog stealth means you're never fully hidden. If enemies get close enough, they can discover you, even in grass. When Ellie is overwhelmed, running away is a viable option. You can also break glass or crawl through tight spaces to find new paths or areas to evade or take on your enemies. In any given combat situation, you can flee an encounter and re-establish stealth to regain the advantage. If you absolutely have to fight your way out, there are a variety of tools at your disposal. Ellie's more agile than most of her enemies. She can sprint and quickly dodge incoming attacks. Learning how opponents attack with different weapons and mastering the timing of your dodges will prevent you from taking damage and create opportunities to counterattack. You can use throwable items or well-placed shots to stun enemies before dealing a killing blow. Or using them as a shield to protect yourself or buy some time to figure out your next move. Ellie isn't always alone on her journey. Allies will take part in helping you navigate the environments, spot enemies, and meaningfully help you in combat encounters. Back off! Got you now! Between the human survivors and the roaming infected, there will be times where multiple threats are present, creating new strategic considerations and opportunities. You can choose whether to attack these opponents separately and directly, or find ways to pit them against each other. Flee as they fight, or wait until their numbers have thinned out and engage with whomever's left. Our goal is to create unparalleled tension, coupled with deep systems that give you greater control and influence over your journey. As you play, you'll be able to invest in a broad collection of crafting items, weapon, and player upgrades through training manuals scattered throughout the environment and scavenging for ingredients. These skills and upgrade manuals cater to a variety of playstyles, and the choices you make will create your own distinct experience. We also wanted to extend that agency and personalization to your weapons through our new workbench system. scavenge for parts to modify and improve your weapon's performance and attributes, all of which are visualized and become part of your character. Survival will also require using the parts and ingredients that you'll find in the environment, which can be crafted into a wide range of defensive and offensive items, like proximity mines, explosive arrows, pistol suppressors, and more. All of these gameplay systems are meant to immerse you in the world and make you feel in lockstep with Ellie's emotional journey. As we've said before, this is Naughty Dog's largest, most ambitious game. It may seem like we covered a lot, but we've only scratched the surface of what it's like to play The Last of Us Part 2. We can't wait for you to experience it all for yourself on June 19th. Until then, here's an extended sequence of never-before-seen gameplay. Enjoy.
Find her yet?
Shit. Jake, well, no one was looking. We're searching the area, just in case she's still around.
Isaac's not happy about it.
No shit.
Escape. What the fuck are they talking about? Don't make a fucking sound. Hands up.
Easy. Easy.
Do you know a girl named Nora?
Sure, yeah.
Where is she?
In the hospital.
Where in the hospital?
Yeah, they're clearing out the upper floors. She's somewhere in there.
Boat's away. Word is we're almost wrapped up.
Good. I got my girl waiting for him for Bob.
You shitting me? They put you with Joe again?
Hey, we get the job done.
I bet you do. No, this is not fair.
I'm telling you, man. Data soldier. It makes these shifts so much easier.
Sure. I'll keep that in mind.
Fuck. Sounds like scars are getting closer.
Hope that's our guys executing those freaks.
Hey, did you hear why we're all getting called up to the fob?
I heard that Isaac wants us to retake all of downtown.
I heard we might take the fight to them.
Oh, no way. Not after what went down last time. Even Isaac isn't that crazy.
That's what I heard.
Just like that.
Saw movement. I'll go check it out. I got you covered. Holy shit! Shit! Look out! Move! Over here! Drop her now, crook! Asshole! I found her!
Damn it! Find another way off!
That you, Nora?
Maybe if you put some more guards, Abby would still be herself.
What the fuck was Abby here?
I'm not stupid. You're gonna tell us where she went.
When Isaac talks to us about this...
I'm getting tired of this.
Nora. Nora! I'm not going down for her, man.
Don't scream. Put that shit down. You remember me? Yeah. You remember me.
Alright. I think that's it. First of all, I apologize if that stream was super choppy. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, it didn't seem like it was on Sony's end. It actually seemed like it was on my end. So I do apologize for that. I will have this playing in the background now. We'll talk a little bit about what we just saw. So I don't know if it's I don't know if it's going to continue to be choppy, but okay, so who was the girl at the end? All right, I'm seeing a lot of people saying it's Riley. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it seems like they definitely are trying to throw something in here to change some things up. I don't know if that was Riley or not. I mean, she says, you know, do you remember me? Yeah, you remember. But what are you guys thinking about the gameplay we saw here? Also, again, I do apologize for the choppiness. Like, I don't know if that was on my end or Sony's end. I mean, as I was watching, it didn't seem choppy. I'm pretty sure it's on my end, and I really don't know why. Marlene's sister, Nora. Yeah, I don't think it's Riley. Like, that just, I don't see how that could be possible. But it's definitely, I don't know. So you guys can let me know if the stream's still choppy here. Because if it is, then it's clearly on my end and not Sony's end. It still looks kind of choppy. I don't know what the hell's up with that. I don't know, maybe I can fix the bitrate here, but overall, I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, the gameplay looks really good, right? I see people saying Nora. Okay. But the gameplay looks really good to me. I'm going to try increasing the bitrate here just because I feel like, I don't know. I don't know why it was this choppy. I didn't have this issue before. I don't know if increasing it would help or make it worse, but whatever, man. Let's just try this. You guys let me know. But I don't know. I'll leave this gameplay in the background. I'm trying to follow the chat here, but my God, it's nonstop. Fred Vance, you're saying the gameplay looks good, but I don't necessarily feel more pumped up to buy it. Yeah, I mean, it was good for sure, but I still feel pretty much the exact same way that I did. Did you see the Vita? Didn't Riley die? I actually missed the Vita. I saw a bunch of people talking about it, but I missed it. So that's kind of funny. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Riley did die. So I don't think it's her. I'm seeing a lot of people say it's Nora. I'm not sure. Should I know who Nora is? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But yeah. Again, I apologize that it was so choppy, guys. I mean, it's not going to make for a great viewing experience after the fact. Obviously, I'm probably going to have to cut it, honestly, because it's going to get copywritten because of the music. But I kind of agree with Fred Vance here that I mean, yeah, like it looks good to play. Like what I just saw is my number one motivating factor for why I'm going to play the game. There's a lot around this game that still looks pretty good, honestly. The gameplay is being one of those things. And I do want to say here, we have over 4,000 people watching, which I want to thank you guys for being here right now and chilling with me. Make sure you hit the like button to help the video out. Let's see how many likes we can get. Regardless of how you feel about the game, if you just want to help the stream out, help the channel out. I don't know. It looks to me here, maybe raising the bit rate, I think may have actually smoothed out the stream. I think maybe I made a mistake actually lowering it earlier. Based off of what I'm seeing, we have Nintendo Power here say doesn't change the story. 4, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything talking here, so again, avoid the chat if you don't want spoilers, but I guess what I will say is that this didn't really do anything to kind of change the... It's still super choppy. Like, why is it like that? It's really bothering me, guys. It's really bothering me because I don't know why. That Ice Cube song was a shot at Microsoft. Was it? Was it? But this didn't... I don't know. I'm just going to bring the chat up for now, if that's okay with you guys, because this is all choppy and I don't know why. So let me bring the chat up and we'll make that full screen. Andrew, you're saying gameplay seems exactly the same as the first, just more emphasis on hiding and stealth since Ellie is smaller and less upfront than Joel. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that the gameplay, there's nothing here that looks like truly innovative. It does look very similar to the first game. I'm okay with that. I really enjoyed the gameplay of the first, but it just seems to me that they are, at this point, actually, you know what? This was a mistake. I sit here and I say, oh, avoid the chat if you don't want spoilers, and then I put the chat up. So I guess that just isn't a good idea. I apologize if anybody just had anything spoiled there, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to be real right now. Who the hell is watching this and interacting with anything Last of Us related and hasn't been spoiled? But yeah, guys, I don't feel much different. I told you, I tried to say before this started, I'm gonna play the game and I'm gonna figure it out for myself. I'm gonna see how I feel. From a gameplay perspective, I do agree that it doesn't look like it changed up much from the first one. It looks like it's more about just kind of refining, and it definitely looks refined. Everything about this game looks great. The story, I don't know, guys. I don't know about the story. Super Trendy Moneymaker, you're saying the game looks amazing on another level. Why hate? Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, people are going to hate no matter what. I didn't see anything here that makes me want to hate it. Although, did you guys see the the part where she threw the Molotov at the dog and the person? Like, oh my god, dude. Like, that's just brutal. Like, that's, I don't know, man. That made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Game looks amazing. Unsubscribed. Okay. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm not saying it doesn't look good. In fact, I'm pretty sure I just sat here and said the gameplay looks really good. But okay. Spud, you're saying gameplay is super polished, as to be expected, but it's nothing special. The animations are just more varied and smoother. That's kind of what I'm getting from it. I don't, ever since we saw the first gameplay from a while ago, I kind of knew, like, okay, it's going to be more of the same, but just a super ultra polished, more refined version, like you said, with more animations and stuff like that, which I'm happy about. I think that definitely adds a significant layer to the game, and it really does elevate it to make it just like it looks like a really awesome game to play. The Tomoya Nagase, you're saying the gameplay looked good, but it kind of feels foreboding, that they seem to hide someone, only showcasing characters mention her. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody, but yes, it's hard, man, because like I was really wondering if they were going to actually acknowledge that in this state of play. They didn't. But Nintendo Power, you're saying missed my last super chat. Games wasted potential. I'm sorry about that, buddy. I'm trying to keep up with everything here. I do apologize. Thank you for it though, but wasted potential, I don't know about that. I can't say that for sure. Again, I'm gonna have to play it myself to really, like, if it's that bad, like wasted potential, we're gonna have to see about that. Van City 92, you're saying it hasn't changed much. What have you been smoking? I mean, I don't know, guys. I'm not, I don't expect everybody to agree with me, but I'm just simply saying that I don't know. The gameplay looks generally, it looks more brutal. I'm just saying, like, overall, they didn't change the gameplay, like, fundamentally. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say. They basically added a lot to it and refined it. But I don't know what I'm smoking. Let me see. I'm trying to keep up with this, guys. Apologize. I don't think of any of the haters were hating on the gameplay. It was always story. Yeah, that seems to be the case. That's kind of generally where I stood. Andrew pretty much loved the first one, but the gameplay won't save it. The game was only as good as it was because of the story. I'm not going to read that, but you might want to analyze Smudboy's YouTube videos. He did a lot of research regarding Naughty Dog. This branch of Sony has been intoxicated by Anita Sarkeesian. I don't even want to talk about that, man. I just fucking hope it's not true. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not getting into that here. MGS2 flashbacks. Yeah. I hope, David, you're saying go to minute 16, the Vita. Let me check here. 16. I'm losing track here. I hope I didn't miss anybody's super chat so I can go check, actually. I'm assuming it's somewhere around here. Put this on for a second. Let's see if we can see that Vita. Are they going to show it? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I like that. That's pretty funny. I mean, again, guys, I think the game from a gameplay perspective looks really fun to play. Everything about the game screams awesome, but there's something lurking in the shadows here that we don't have the full context surrounding it, but it's definitely lurking in the shadows. Pretty much everybody knows about it, and I'm not going to acknowledge it directly here. And it seems to me that this is just something that Naughty Dog really wants to try to hide until the game is out. As you know, they want people to be surprised and whatever. And to me, this is the part where when I do play it, there's going to have to be certain things that I experience when playing it that make me feel differently than I do now. And I guess that's my great hope. Nintendo Power, you're saying they're scared of the story's reception. They're beating around the bush to really elaborate on details of what happens. People are in for a shock. I do agree, dude. I do agree that people who somehow have managed to avoid the spoilers are going to be absolutely, based off of what I know, again, I don't have the full context, but based off of what I know, yeah, there's going to be quite a lot of shock to go around. But it's going to be interesting to see how reviewers talk about this game. I think it's safe to say it's going to get pretty positive reception. What I'm going to be paying most attention to in general is if there's like a split, right? Like right now you can clearly see within the community, within the gaming community, there's a massive divide, a massive split. And this is why it makes it difficult for me to even talk about this game, because it's just controversial to even talk about. There's a split where and I hate this. I absolutely hate this, where you either love it or you hate it. And if you're not one extreme or the other, you're just, you're something else, right? And nobody cares about that. And I hate when that happens. I don't feel like we need to be extreme about it. I do feel like that, as I said, I had my thoughts on the leaks, and I was pretty emotional about it. I went in pretty hard. But at this point, it's just a matter of I want to experience the game myself, and I want to be honest, I'm looking forward to being able to give my full thoughts on the game once I experience the entirety of it. Because if it leaves me feeling like not good, then it'll at least be comforting to know that I'm coming from a place where, yes, I've experienced the entire thing. But if it leaves me feeling good, and I'm like, wow, actually, this is pretty damn good. This is way better than I thought. Then that will be good as well. Because that's ideally what I would like. Super Trendy Moneymaker, you're saying the leaks were the aftermath, not the full context. I mean, yeah, again, there is a lot we don't know, and to me, this is the big question. You ready? I should probably take this off my screen because it's just somebody. Let's see here. We'll leave it here. Wait, no. Just want a good still image. To me, the big question that I think people have right now is, will the context, be as big of a difference maker as everybody's saying it is? Juan de la Rua, you're saying to everyone who disagrees with MVG, please respect his opinion, and if he doesn't want to talk about it, don't respect other people's choices. I agree, Juan. I mean, obviously, I think that's asking a little bit too much here. There's going to be people on the internet, they're never going to respect anybody's opinion but their own. But I agree. I mean, guys, look, like, we all have our thoughts on this. Make fun of it, I guess. Defend it to no end, whatever you want to do, but just try to respect the fact that there's people who don't like it and they have their reasons, and there's people who are very much still excited about it and they have their reasons. Let people do what they want. I'm not sitting here trying to tell anybody what they should or shouldn't do. I'm just giving my thoughts on it. But straight from VA1, you're saying June 19th, can't come fast enough, can't wait. So there you go. I mean, you're pretty excited about the game still, but the big question for me that I'm going to be looking to see if it actually gets answered or not is, like I said, will the context be the difference maker? It certainly could be. It certainly could be. Based off of what I know, there's going to have to be some major things that I'm missing to make me feel, to make it all processed the way I was hoping it would be processed, right? And I think it's safe to say there is a lot I don't know. But what I do know is highly disturbing, and I can't get around that fact. Eddie, who you're saying the dodge system, one-on-one combat looks incredible. So bummed about the story, but the gameplay is next level. I do agree 100%, man. That's something that I know people are probably thinking, oh, you're being down on the gameplay. How are you not blown away by it or whatever? It's not that I'm not blown away by it. It's just we've seen a lot of the gameplay already, but I do like the Like you're mentioning the one-on-one combat, it looks brutal, man. Like, that's the thing. It really has that shock value brutality when it comes to the combat. I do like that they're going a little bit more in depth where you have to, you can learn moves and stuff. And it is more intricate. It's certainly much more intricate than the first games, but just the core gameplay itself is the same, which, again, I'm okay with. I like the gameplay of the first one. I'm just happy to see that they, rather than completely overhauling it, they're just trying to refine it and make it better and still make it have that Last of Us feel. And I think they did a good job here showcasing the gameplay. I've seen a lot of people saying that they're not too impressed. Not impressed, that's the wrong word, but they didn't see anything that screams like completely new and shocking to them here. So, I mean, I don't know if that's what we were expecting or not, but for me it's fine. This is what I expected. So, let me see here. Nintendo Power, sorry. You're saying full context. You go from cutscene, gameplay, cutscene, not missing much. I mean, I don't know, man. Look, they're saying the game is like 30 hours long. All right, now, I don't know. We don't know the divide between how many hours are cutscenes, how many hours are gameplay. And I understand that there's just some people that no matter what, they're just going to be like, look, you can tell me all about the context all you want. And I admit, even I had this attitude for a little while where it's like, you can tell me all the context you want. It's not going to change the fact that this story is shit. And for me, again, I kind of had that mentality, but as I've calmed down and I realized, look, this game's going to come and go. And I just don't want to jump to I don't want to say anything definitively without first getting the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see certain parts of a movie and then say, oh, I know for a fact this movie is garbage because I've seen this one or these three specific parts. Because it's well, did you see the whole movie? It's well, no. It's well, then watch the whole movie and then talk about it. That's all it comes down to for me. I get maybe that's just because I'm a content creator, right? I don't want to sit here and be I'm now going to review The Last of Us 2 without playing it. That's just how, you know what I mean? MDLG, you're saying the girl is most likely Marlene's daughter. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. Did Marlene have a daughter? I mean, did we know she had a daughter in the first game? That's something I can't remember. But, and I guess I'll ask you guys now. We still have over 2,600 people here watching, which, again, thank you guys for being here with me and hanging out and listening to what I have to say. I really do appreciate it. If you could do me a big favor, hit that like button to help the stream out. I know not everybody is, as excited. They're not excited about The Last of Us or whatever, but, it does still help the stream out. It helps my channel out. And so we have Moby3412. You're saying still going to buy despite the leaks, different tactics, cover dogs, new clickers infected, and then buy again on remastered version of the PS5. Yeah, you do bring up something here where there is a lot more they are adding to it. I did hear where they said that there's some, they were hinting that there's going to be some infected we haven't actually seen before, that they're kind of saving as a surprise, which does get me excited. I think the infected are the coolest part of this game in terms of adding that horror element, the survival element. So I'm excited for that. You're saying different tactics. Yeah, that too. I do like the fact that they are kind of, it seems like one of the biggest differences between this game and the first one is areas are going to be much more open, and you have a lot of different ways, or at least more ways you can approach taking out enemies or even trying to avoid them altogether. So yeah, we have Wander and Twilight. You're saying don't mind the haters, man. I get your perspective. Well, thank you. I mean, I know people are going to hate no matter what. It's what happens when you're in the position of being a content creator, and that's fine. Like, people, again, I'm not trying to tell people how they should or shouldn't feel. The only thing I do try to encourage is just allow people to have their own opinions, and, you don't have to go, all over the place freaking out or, dumping on people because of their opinions, no matter how much you don't agree with it. Like, just let people have their own, Try to enlighten them, I guess, or whatever. Or bring a different perspective to the table, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Nintendo Power, you're saying, let's break it down. You shoot and stab in the gameplay, and the story unfolds in the cutscenes. Whatever happens in the gameplay won't change anything. That is true. I mean, yeah, I can't deny that. It's not like the gameplay itself is going to change the course of the story. I do agree. And again, this is where I'm going to be very interested to know when I'm done experiencing the game for myself. Is it going to be a situation where I'm like, wow, The Last of Us 2, when it comes to the gameplay, is really, really awesome, and it's like, I've never played a game like it. It has the smoothest animations and some of the most intense combat and combat sequences. But am I going to be like, but the story, I wasn't a fan of it. You know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't good, in my opinion. Is that what it's going to be like? I guess I'm just holding out hope that I'm going to go through this game. I'm going to spend 25 to 30 hours with it. And by the end of it, I'm going to be like, wow, that was a crazy experience. And I don't know. Like, I don't know, guys. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. All I can say is that based off of what I know right now, I'm not anticipating that I feel that there's going to be a part of me that does have a little bit of an issue, or maybe even a big issue, again, depending on what I end up playing with some of the things that occur and how it's handled. And this is so difficult. Like, this is so difficult to talk about right now because again, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not talking about the spoilers or the leaks in this because at this point I don't even feel like it's relevant. We're so close to the game releasing. We will talk about it when we get there. But I guess what I can speak to is what I saw here today didn't make me feel bad. I know that, as we talked about, there are certain secrets about this game that are being hidden very well, or if not hidden, maybe hidden very well is the worst way to put it. There are secrets that that some people are going to discover on their own. And I mean, one thing I can tell you for sure is this. Listen. The thing that bothers me the most about The Last of Us 2 at this point is not the game itself. It's the conversation surrounding the game. Because what I've realized is that it's a game that for some reason is really just kind of, it's so polarizing that it's just creating extremes. It's creating two different sides. And in my opinion, most normal, rational people, and again, I know that a lot of people don't necessarily consider me that, unfortunately, all the time. And I can admit that I'm not always 100% rational. That's what passion can do to you. That's what being emotional can do to you. It can make you kind of go off the deep end sometimes. I'm guilty of that. I admit that. But the thing that bothers me the most is it creates this divide in these extremes where, again, like, you either love it or you hate it. And it just brings me back to Troy Baker's comments when he said that one thing he can say for sure is that people will not just feel indifferent. And maybe you could say that's a good thing. Maybe you could say that's a bad thing. But for me, to me, it sucks because it's like, there's just seemingly, it's so hard to find a middle ground. And to me, that's where I feel like I stand right now, where I look at this game. I am a PlayStation fan, a PlayStation content creator. It's one of the biggest games that's going to be launching this generation. And there's no doubt that a lot of work and care went into it. A lot of developers' work went into this game, their blood, sweat, and tears. And I see the gameplay, and I see the graphics, and I see the animations, the environments, the detail in the game, the combat, and I'm just like, damn, this looks so freaking good, right? And then, unfortunately, the game leaked out the way it did, and then it's just like, holy shit, like, I really just have to wonder what, I don't know. Like, I don't want to sit here and say, I hate the game's garbage, the game's trash, because it's just like, I just can't do that. Because I feel like that's just not fair. That's not fair to the hundreds of employees who spent years of their life, like, creating these environments and the details and coming up with this combat and these animations. Like, to me, that's just not fair. But at the same time, it's like a part of me feels greatly disturbed about what I know about the game. And it just sucks that, like, it's going to be difficult for them to have enough context. I don't know. I'm also not going to sit here and say I love the game and I'm going to love the game no matter what. Like, that's the shit that bothers me too, because I get people doing that to me on Twitter and even on my channel where it's like, if you don't like, man, you're flip-flopping fraud, like, whatever, fine. But Christ, man, like, just go love your game. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody has to love it unanimously. I get that you want to tell people not to basically, you want us to wait. I understand that. Like, don't judge it until you play it. Don't judge it until you play it. I get that. I fully understand that. And that's why I'm not going to really, even though I'm ranting right now, but I'm not necessarily ranting about the game. I'm ranting about the conversation surrounding the game. That's why I decided I'm just not going to talk about it unless we get something like we did today, like a state of play, where I can talk about what we just saw. And I'm not going to, like, give my heavy-handed, opinion on the game until I play it. So, MJ, you're saying I have been keeping my head in the ground about this game. What could be so bad about this story? Well, I'm not going to sit here and be the one to tell you what could be bad about it. Like I said, guys, we're going to play it. We're going to play it here on the channel, and I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to give it to you as straight as I possibly can. I don't care how much hate comes my way. If I love the game, I'm just going to be like, guys, I fucking love this game, man. If I hate the game, I'll be like, guys, I fucking hate this game. And I'll just let you know. And I'm not doing that. People think that, oh, you're going to praise this game no matter what because it's PlayStation, or you just want views. Like, okay, so for that argument, I do need to let people know, because I've actually been having this come my way a lot. They're like, oh, dude, you're just going to talk about this game and cover it because you just want views. You want to milk it for views. Okay, so I don't know if you know this or not, but we are on the precipice of getting some massive PlayStation 5 information, okay? And a big blowout, potentially, of games. And on top of that, within literally just a couple of weeks after The Last of Us 2 launches, probably before most people even complete the game, or at least a lot of people, Ghost of Tsushima is coming out. If I really wanted to, I don't need to talk about this game at all. The reason why I'm talking about it is because I do care. I care about going out of my way to experience it myself so I can tell you what I think. I need to know how this game's going to make me feel by the time I'm done with it and how I'm going to view it. But if I really wanted to, I don't have to talk about this game. Like, if that was the case, I would be making videos on it right now. I would be continuing that hate bandwagon that I'm always accused of, right? Why haven't I made any Last of Us videos in the past couple weeks? So, I guess I'm just putting that out here because it's like, people, I don't know, man. Josh Z, you're saying, I feel like I'm in a very small group that fully expected a truly shocking and polarizing story before the leak. Still haven't spoiled myself either. Well, good for you, man. I mean, I know that there's going to be a lot of people who play this game and they don't know what happens. Like, right now, they have no idea. They just know what Sony has revealed and Naughty Dog have revealed in their official marketing. And, you know, if I will say this, if you're going into it expecting a truly shocking, polarizing story, then maybe you won't be as affected as other people are. Because I'll put it to you this way. I expected shock. Like, there's like, in my opinion, there's like different layers, different tiers of shock value, okay? And in this case, when it comes to The Last of Us 2, at least the things I saw are like, I mean, guys, like, go back and listen. Like, if you listen, you can hear the emotion in my voice. Like, I was literally bewildered by some of the shit that I saw. And I'm not going to say whether I thought it was good or bad, because, again, I'm not trying to make this stream about that. But just know that if they were going for a reaction, they certainly got one out of me. Siler18, you're saying, awful argument. The whole point of making a video is for the purpose of people watching it for views. And I mean, I'm assuming, dude, that's the thing, is like, I'm not trying to tell anybody that I'm not trying to get views. Like, that's the thing, like, oh, I'm going to make this Last of Us video in the hopes that it gets as little views as possible. I understand the argument that people make where they're like, oh, you'll say anything, or you'll jump on any trend. That's just not true. Like, okay, perfect example, Death Stranding. How easy would it have been for me to be like, oh my god, Death Stranding's gameplay looks terrible, because that was also an extremely polarizing game, except rather than being polarizing in its story, it was polarizing in its gameplay. And the reason why I defended it is because I didn't think it looked that bad. And then when I experienced it for myself, I was like, okay, to me this is actually pretty good. But I also fully understand why a lot of people don't see it as good, and why a lot of people actually won't like it. Like, I understand why it's polarizing, but I myself enjoyed it. I could have easily, if it was all about the views, jumped on the hate bandwagon and just said, oh my god, this game's garbage, like, Kojima wasted all his time, Kojima's not as good as everybody thinks he is, and all, you know? Because that was happening. That was happening, man. You guys I always get worked up in these damn live streams. Neo Trickster 04th, you're saying, saw the video, game is going to be fire. I mean, yeah, based off of what I saw in the gameplay, the gameplay does look fire. I agree. Like I said, I know I sound like a broken record, but I think there's a lot about this game that looks fantastic. There's just this looming presence that we're not going to be able to fully tackle it and really dive deep on it until the game is actually out and we get to play it. As you can tell, there's a lot of, and we'll talk, Eddie Hu, thank you for that, by the way. I appreciate that donation. You didn't say anything, but I appreciate it. We also have NES Ninja Skills. You're saying, those saying the leaks aren't true because of certain people who were playing the review copies. The Seraphites were part of the first leaks that came from one of the family members of a Naughty Dog employee. Look, I mean, I understand what you're saying here. Again, I'm not going to dive into... I'm trying my best to avoid talking about the leaks because I'm not trying to make this video about that. But we know that there's a lot of people who have gotten their review codes for this game. Obviously, I'm not one of those people. Why would Sony give me a review code for this game? I don't ever expect to get a review code from Sony. That's perfectly okay though, because I actually prefer to just buy my games. So that way, I feel like if I can just buy my game and buy it with my own money, I can give a much more fair, truthful opinion of was this game worth $60? I feel like it's really difficult to do that if you get the game for free. Just my opinion. And that's nothing against any reviewers, of course. It's their job to give their honest opinion. But, we know that a lot of reviewers, a lot of people have their early copies right now. They're playing. There's some people who've even beaten the game. And again, it does get me excited when it seems like a lot of them are feeling really good about it. A lot of them feel like they're basically hinting that they can't wait to talk about the game because it was awesome and it blew them away and everything. But again, we don't know. as I referenced this earlier, but I'm going to be so damn interested to see, like, is there going to be a divide in reviewers like there is right now with gamers? Like, are there going to be people who review this game and they give it a low score and they're like, guys, like, the gameplay's awesome, the game from, like, a visual perspective is on another level, but my God, the story is not good. It's not good, right? And they're going to give it, like, a 6 out of 10 or lower, or a 7 out of 10, right? Versus, like, there's going to be a lot of people who give it 10 out of 10s and 9.5 out of 10s, and they think that the story was great. And I don't know, guys. Like, I don't even know if it'll matter. I feel like no matter what happens, this is going to be a divisive game. I can promise you, with gamers themselves, putting the reviewers aside, it's already a divisive game. It's only going to get more divisive once it's actually out there and people can talk about it in full. And, you know, to everybody who has to check out from the stream, I'll catch you guys later. I appreciate you stopping by. Again, we have over 1,800 people still here. Make sure you hit the like button, guys, to help the stream out. LSSJT, you're saying, MBG, can I borrow your face? Also, how would you feel about a new Sly Cooper? I don't know about your face. No, you can't borrow my face, buddy. But I would be open to a new Sly Cooper. Why not? You know, I think we're gonna be getting a new Ratchet and Clank though before that. But I don't know, guys. I've never experienced this with a game before, honestly, where it's draining. It really is, and it's one of the reasons why I've kind of avoided talking about it up until now, and I've taken a break from it, because it's just like, I just want to get the game in my hands. I want to play it. I'm going to be, the review embargo lifts on June 12th, which is pretty early, so that's a clear sign that Sony has a lot of confidence in this game. I want it to be known that Sony did the same thing, I believe, for Death Stranding, and we saw how that worked out, where the reviews were also very polarizing. So just because they're lifting it early doesn't guarantee it's going to have universal positive praise, because, again, Sony expected that to happen with Death Stranding, and it didn't. Although, after these leaks have come out, and the fact that Sony's still willing to do that is definitely a good sign. But in this case, it becomes difficult, like, what's the next conversation going to turn into? Like, if the game gets like a 95 on Metacritic, is it just, that was just always guaranteed to happen? Like, all these reviews are paid, and I don't know. That's just where it's like, in this case, I just don't feel like I can. I don't feel like I can really trust review scores in this case. Not that I usually ever do. I mean, I've always been the type where I do like to pay attention to review scores, especially ones that come out early for the bigger titles, because it's interesting. Like, I want to see, like, how do they feel? But in this case, I just feel like what I'm going to be looking for, and in my opinion, what's going to be interesting is, okay, let's flash forward to June 12th. The review embargo lifts. Let's just say this game gets a freaking, like, 94, 95 on Metacritic, and it's just universal praise. At that point, I'm going to feel like, okay, maybe I'm going to end up loving this game, like, way more than I thought I was. Because, I mean, it's really difficult for a game, especially a polarizing game, with a polarizing story anyway, to do that. And the only way it could do that is if it's just undeniably like, this game is like, you need to play it, right? And so that will be interesting to me. If we flash forward to June 12th and the reviews are just polarizing, and this game ends up like at like a 75 or an 80 on Metacritic or something, which, like, let's be real, that's not necessarily terrible, but for The Last of Us 2, that would be like, whoa, really? Like, that's definitely unexpected. Then I'm gonna be like, okay, all right, I'm not feeling as confident. And I'm not saying that it's because reviews sway my opinion. It's not that. It's just, I guess I'm just wondering how it's gonna lead me. Like, if it's going to change how I feel going into the game. Did this state of play change how I feel? No. I'm gonna be honest with you, it didn't, because I feel identical. I feel like, okay, cool, more gameplay. Gameplay looks really good. Can't wait to actually play it and experience that moment-to-moment gameplay and have those really tense moments. And it looks brutal. It looks uncomfortable, frankly, sometimes. Like, throwing a Molotov at a dog. Like, hearing it scream. Like, that disturbs me. I'm not saying I'm excited about that per se, but it looks like an intense experience. And this state of play just made me feel like, okay, I'm ready. Bring it on. Like, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's just get in there, play this game, and see what it's all about. And so, yeah. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. You are sounding pretty dumb. Well, thanks for that, man. I really appreciate that. Saying I sound dumb. People eat dogs. It's all good. Okay, clearly some interesting things going on in the chat here. First game sucked. I disagree. I highly disagree with that. I love the first game. Let me see. So, to be honest, guys, like, I don't know if I think I'm probably gonna. I don't know if I should end the stream here because I pretty much said all I have to say. I don't want to sound overly redundant or just continually repeat myself, but I will say this, and I guess I'll end the stream here. I don't know what it's going to be like with The Last of Us 2. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. All I know is I am going to play it. I don't know. I can't make a promise of how much I'm going to be talking about it on the channel. I can promise you that I'll play it and I'll review it. I can promise you that. Other than that, I don't know how much more we're going to talk about it. We will most likely probably have some conversations once the reviews come out and just kind of gauging like what reviewers are saying, see if we can get any interesting information out of that. I'm sure we will. And from that, other than that, regardless of what else happens with The Last of Us here on the channel, I know that there's a lot of PS5 stuff coming up that I'm extremely excited about. In fact, we're going to be talking about that tomorrow because I have a pretty good feeling that tomorrow Sony's going to announce the date for the PS5 reveal event, which it has been leaked out. If you haven't heard, I would highly recommend you watch a video I put out earlier today. It's only like 4 minutes long. You can get that information there. But we'll still be talking about that a lot. We still have Ghost of Tsushima coming up, and I'm still very excited about Ghost of Tsushima. But, either way, I am glad The Last of Us 2 is still coming out because, it's still nice at the end of this generation with the PS4. It's still nice to see that Sony's still bringing out the big games, right? Like the high production value, high quality games. Again, regardless of how we may end up feeling about them. And that in itself is exciting. So I guess I'm just trying to end the stream on a more positive note. But guys, we still have over 1,600 people watching. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you showing up and hanging out here again. I do apologize for how choppy the stream was. I don't know what was up with that. I don't know if it's my internet. I'm going to have to look into that. I hope I don't run into this issue when we're live streaming, the PS5 reveal event, because that's honestly the absolute last thing that I would want to happen. So before you guys head out, again, make sure you hit the like button to help the stream out, and let's see if we can get it possibly up to where we at. We have 1,500 likes, which is awesome. Let's see if we can get up to 1,600 or 1,700. That would be awesome. But that's pretty much going to do it, guys. Again, appreciate you showing up. Look forward to the rest of the content I have coming for the remainder of the week. And we're also, again, I have my members only live stream I'll be doing on Saturday, probably on top of a regular video. And then on Sunday, we will be doing Press X Podcast, another episode of that at 12 p.m. Eastern. So look forward to that as well. But until next time, guys, take care.